We ready again? You can bring him in.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ready? Thank you. Jurors in the courtroom, Your Honor. Jurors may be seated. Jurors are all set. I come for Your Honor.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, were you all able to abide by my instructions during the recess?
Yes.
All right, thank you. I can't get this up on my screen. It's not. It's my fault. I have to push a button and I don't know which one. I've pushed every button I can figure out and that probably didn't help either. So
It's okay, I'm having technical difficulties as well.
I'll have to step down.
All right, we're going to move on from the first statement that you gave to Detective Proctor. I want to talk about what your testimony is today. Okay? Today you're testifying that there were two attacks, and that the first attack happened immediately when you got back from the manager, correct?
As soon as he jumps out of his chair, yes, sir.
Okay. And may I have the witness step down, Your Honor?
You may.
And I'm going to need to move this up.
I can see on the screen. I'll stay here.
Everybody see? More this way. Okay, so everybody see? Okay, so your testimony is today you came back from the manager, okay? Okay. This is you coming back from the manager, correct?
Excuse me, Mr. Rosenwasser, what exhibit is this?
This is State's Exhibit number 2.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so here, this is where we see you coming back into the screen, correct?
I'm coming back into the screen, I'm not sure. Okay.
Now you sit down,
Yes.
you cross your legs, Now, your testimony is this is when you're attacked, correct?
Yes, it's right after I sat down, yes.
Okay, and right here, I don't know if anyone, can you all see this?
Yes.
I don't know if it's better to use the pointer or the laser. Okay, right here, you see where this is?
Yes.
Okay, that's Chad Oulson, correct?
Yes, right there.
Okay, so let's keep an eye on Mr. Oulson. And I'm just rocking this back and forth. You see him turning around in his seat here, correct? He's just swiveling at the hip as he's looking back at you.
All I can see is a head and an arm. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I mean, your testimony was that he was standing up and he attacked you. But if you look at the video, doesn't it look as though he's turning in his seat?
He turned in his seat and jumped up. I don't.
Okay, well, your testimony was at this point, the implication was, based on what happened during the trial, was that this light right here that's attached to your shoe was supposed to be the cell phone, possibly. So it's at this point in time that your testimony must be that you're being attacked.
I am being attacked right now. Whether the white light is the cell phone or not, I have no idea.
Okay, now let's watch this. So this is going forward. Okay, now at this point, and this is the loop that was admitted as defense exhibit, at this point,
Judge,
you're saying that...
I object. That is not the loop that we admitted. That is completely different. Ours was done by our expert.
All right,
Okay.
then,
I'll rephrase it.
okay, thank you.
This is our video, of course, obviously not the loop that was your defense exhibit, okay? What I meant was this is the period of time that's depicted on the defense exhibit. Now, you're telling this jury that at this point in time, a cell phone was thrown at you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And your testimony was that at this point in time, Chad Oulson is standing up and threw his cell phone at you and hit you in the left side of your face.
At this point, I get in the face. He's turning and standing up. I think you're showing microseconds down there. In my mind, it was all one move.
Okay, in your mind it could be all one movement, but when you look at the video,
You can't tell.
you can't see it because it didn't happen.
You can't see it because he's not on the screen.
Right. So if he's not on the screen, he's not attacking you.
If he's not on the screen, he's off the screen.
Exactly.
Has nothing to do with whether he's attacking me or not.
Okay, so you're saying that when he's off the screen here, this is when the cell phone comes flying at you.
I think we've been through that, but at this point in time, it looks like a big distance there. We're looking at, I'm thinking 12 to 15 inches is where he's at. He's just right on the very edge of the screen.
Okay, I understand that.
Okay.
Okay? Did he punch you with the phone in his hand, or did he throw the phone at you? Because I think your testimony was that he punched you with the cell phone.
I wasn't sure because it happened so quickly.
Because clearly in looking at the video, there's no part of his body striking your face. Right? Because as you indicated, he's not even in the frame.
Okay, you threw it.
All right, so what you're telling this jury is that Chad Oulson threw his several $100 iPhone at your face.
That would be a reasonable expectation.
Okay, and obviously for you to fear for your safety so that you have to shoot Chad Oulson later on, that cell phone had to be thrown pretty hard at you, correct?
It was, yes.
Okay, yet you don't have a single mark.
Judge, I'm going to check, ask and answer. That was 20 minutes ago.
This man.
Well, Your Honor, this is a completely separate incident that Mr. Reeves was testifying about. That's the reason I'm going into this particular cell phone. This is a different incident.
All right, good. Just continue.
So you're indicating that he threw it at you now, he didn't punch you with it, yet you don't have an injury consistent with being hit with an iPhone at such a great speed that you'd be later concerned for your safety.
I have on glasses that absorb the impact, that's my only thought, and not skew on my face. Perhaps it was a glancing blow. I was hit in my face.
Okay.
Chad Oulson.
Okay, and the glasses that we passed around to the members of the jury, they rest on your nose like all other glasses, yet you didn't have any markings from the part that holds the glasses close to your nose either.
I didn't see that on any of the photographs.
Right.
Can you guys speak up, Mr. Wilson? Please, I'm sorry. Can you please speak up?
Okay, I'm sorry.
I can't hear you.
It's right here for you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so now let's talk about what happens next. Your testimony was that Nicole Oulson is now standing up trying to hold Chad Oulson back.
I don't think I ever said Nicole was standing up.
Okay. Is your testimony that at any point in time after this, Nicole Oulson is standing up, holding Chad Oulson back because he's raging towards the seat?
My focus was on Chad Oulson. She had a hold of Chad Oulson. I have no clue whether she was standing, partially standing, sitting, I don't know.
Okay. Did you ever see Nicole Oulson trying to hold Chad Oulson back after the cell phone's thrown at you?
I did.
Okay. And she's holding him back because your testimony was that he's coming to get you, and he's this raging guy with a contorted face, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And now, you saw the video where you were walking into the theater. We did that early on. You remember that? Okay. When you were walking into the theater, was there a fight happening in the theater?
Here I'm walking at?
Right.
No, that's not fine.
Okay.
I don't know what was on the screen, but
Okay, I'm not talking about the screen. I'm talking about people in the theater. There wasn't a fight or something crazy going on, right?
No.
Okay, and here's what I'm saying. When you're walking into the theater, this motion-activated camera picks you up just walking with your wife casually to sit down in a seat, correct? You saw that?
I did.
All right. Now, you want this jury to believe that Nicole Oulson is holding Chad Oulson back, and he's raging to come at you. During the time period that this motion-activated camera isn't picking it up. correct?
Objection on an improper predicate. It's not picking up anything in row B. Anything in row B.
No?
That camera's picking nothing up in row B.
Excuse me. We can approach, no standing objections,
Can we
please.
approach?
Yes. And what is?
Hearing page 1867 and 1868.
I'm going to object. What's the question?
I'm addressing what you...
What is the question?
Okay, can you go for that? I'm going to talk about what's happening during this blue screen, okay? The blue screen, there was testimony by Mr. Koenig that the blue screen is unrecorded video segments. You remember that? Now,
Objection.
that's not ours. It's in
Objection.
your
It was
video,
black
it's black. I'm doing it. In our video, it's blue. In your video, it's black. Regardless, it's an unrecorded section that wasn't picked up by the motion detection system. You recall that? Okay, so during this section, this blue section, was Nicole Oulson trying to hold Chad Oulson back he was pulling away from her. He looked as though he was out of control in a fit of rage, trying to get over the seat to you.
During that brief period of time, she had a hold of him now when he jumped up and turned. I didn't see her, I was only stalking.
Okay, what I'm asking you is this. During this period that was not recorded by the camera system, was Miss Oulson trying to hold Chad Oulson back because he was trying to get over the seat to you?
She had a hold of him when he first jumped up. I would assume she had a hold of him then.
Okay. Would it refresh your memory to take a look at this hearing?
Sure.
Bottom of page 1868.
Yeah, that fits pretty much what I said. She had a hold of him before he jumped up. She had a hold of him while he was standing up.
So Chad Oulson was pulling away. He looked to you like he was out of control in a fit of rage, trying to get over the seat to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yet, my point being, when you're walking into the movie theater, the camera system is picking up just you and your wife walking in, correct?
When I first got there.
Correct. Okay. But this description that we just talked about, the way you're portraying it, he's trying to get over you, and she's holding him back. The camera system doesn't capture that. Yet, it can capture you just walking in the movie theater calmly.
It doesn't capture anything on their road, the camera system.
Okay? It doesn't capture it on your row. There's nothing captured here. The camera isn't picking anything up. There's no significant movement. It's not that it's not capturing the row, it's capturing nothing. Isn't that correct? The blue screen is not capturing anything at all.
I see. It's not detecting motion, is that what you're saying?
Correct. You're portraying this, that Nicole Oulson's holding Chad Oulson back.
He's trying to answer, and it's one interruption after
It
another.
hasn't, I'm sorry.
No, I'm listening.
It doesn't key on their row at all.
You're right. But when you're looking at this blue screen, which is a black screen in your video, it's not keying on any row because it's not detecting any motion. Isn't that
Well, I'm
correct?
stuck to my seat, yeah.
But you're saying that Nicole Oulson is fighting with Chad Oulson, who's trying to get over the seat, yet it's not recording any motion.
Their row does not trigger, in my mind, does not trigger the camera in that row. If it did, we'd have full view of everything that he did.
No, the reason you don't have a full view of everything he did is because the
Objection,
camera angle.
that's not a question. He is argumentative at this point.
Isn't it true that the reason you don't see that row is based on the camera angle? Has nothing to do with the motion activation system.
It has to do with the fact that they're on the very edge of the camera system. I have no idea how it works.
Remember when I was asking you questions about your left hand? And if you're shooting, I use the term shooting from the hip, it's incorrect, but we were talking about where your left hand would go, that to keep it out of muzzle path,
Right.
that you would put it close to your body.
That was I've never done it.
Correct, okay? Now, do you see your right hand here? Your right hand has the firearm, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you see your left hand?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. Right here.
That's the right hand, right?
No, your right hand is going to be with the gun.
Okay.
And if you look to the left side of your body,
I
you'll
have
see your left hand.
It's not against, I don't know where it's at. It's not in front of me.
Okay. So you don't see it go over towards your chest?
I see my hand moving because I'm being attacked. I don't. I mean, it's moving all around. If you look, I don't know, it's in my lap perhaps.
What's in your lap after you bring it over from your left side, which is exactly what I'm asking you.
I did not consciously grab a hold of my chest. That's the only answer I can give.
You did it instinctively because it's part of your training.
No, we have never trained to grab a hold of your chest.
I'm not using the whiteboard anymore.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Martin, can you guys push it back a little bit further so I can see the podium? That's good, that's good, thanks.
So a couple more questions about that particular scenario. When you came back from the manager, when did you grab your popcorn? When you sat down?
Yes, I was sitting down, yes.
Okay. So before you were struck with the phone?
Before I was what, sir? Before what?
Before you said you were struck with the phone, you grabbed your popcorn?
Right, yes, sir.
Okay. But your popcorn doesn't spill when you're struck with the phone very hard, does it?
I can't see that either.
Okay. Now, I didn't show you the videos are in evidence, but let me ask you this. If a phone's thrown at you that hard, how is it that you keep going forward after the time the phone hits you? I mean, wouldn't you agree with me that generally when someone's hit hard with an object, they react, that they put their hands up to where they were hit, or their head goes backwards, they make some type of reaction. Why is it that you don't react at all once you're hit by this cell phone so very hard?
I can speculate and say that I had karate training, I had grappling training. When you're involved in a life or death struggle, you don't take time to grab your face. You need to defend yourself. After it was over with, I replaced my glasses and checked my face.
Okay, so just my last couple of questions. You remember when you were sitting in the cruiser, Detective Proctor's cruiser?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and he asked you a whole series of questions to go into detail about what occurred, correct?
I don't remember those detectives asking me very many questions at all.
Okay, but we have a transcript for it, and we have your voice, correct?
Right.
All right. And when he came back to talk to you a second time, he said, look, and I'm paraphrasing, Curtis, if there's anything else you have to tell me, right?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
When you were sitting in the back of that cruiser, and now we're talking about this hit that you're so certain of, that it glazed and it was just a terrible hit. You remember when you were in the back of that cruiser and you said, as I'm sitting back in here, I'm second guessing myself?
Oh,
Did
yes,
he
sir.
even hit me?
Yes, sir. I've second guessing it for the last 8 years. Anybody that's involved in something like that and they don't second guess it, it's got to be nuts.
Okay, but what I'm asking you is not if you second guessed that. You second guessed the very fact that you were even hit.
I second guessed every step of that encounter. Yes, sir, I did.
You agree with me it's not good to second guess whether or not someone ever hit you? Or even second guess yourself when you shoot and kill another person?
I think that if you are human and you have respect for human life, you would always second guess yourself constantly.
You second guessed this very hit that you testified to.
I second guessed this entire event.
I understand. I don't have any further questions.
Thank you. Redirect?
Yeah, just briefly, Your Honor. Mr. Reeves, let's go from the beginning of the prosecutor's cross, just briefly. He indicated that you were able to do all these things despite your current condition. Would you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury if you have a handicap sticker on your car?
Objection, this is not relevant to 2014.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Mr. Reeves, he asked you about the fact that you could go hunting, get up on a tree, mow the lawn, right?
Yes, sir.
Somehow indicating that you don't have the conditions that you currently have, correct?
Correct.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury why you do all those things.
Your Honor, I'll just object to the timeframe that we're talking about. It doesn't matter what's happening.
2013, 2014, those 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury why you do those things.
To try to maintain a level of fitness as I get older, keep my joints. I do range of motion exercises. I rode bike. I used an elliptical. I've tried to do it 4, 5, sometimes 6 days a week. I pick up, instead of using a pitchfork to pick up things in the backyard, I use my hands to bend over and pick them up. It exercises my back. I wear a back brace when I mow the yard. So that I don't get jerked around while I'm riding the lawnmower. So that's what I've always done. Like when we shoot sporting clays, we walk for the physical exercise.
Do you just want to stay home and sit in a chair all day? Is that what you want to do?
No, sir, I don't.
Do you ever want to be at a point in your life where all you do?
Objection, relevance.
Do you ever want to be at a point in your life where that's all you're able to do?
No, sir, I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Now, the prosecutor showed you and the jury 2 photos. Can I approach? One was, I want you to read that exhibit number for the jury.
The ID number or the evidence number?
The evidence number.
The evidence number is 9-1.
9-1. Okay, so we're going to put 9-1 here. Now I want you to read this exhibit. These are the 2 exhibits that we passed around to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Read the exhibit number for that one.
7-3.
7-3. Let me give you one more. I want you to read that 9-1 is a part of a composite, okay, exhibit. I want you to read all of the numbers in this composite.
Each one of those that are
Each
stapled
one of
together.
them.
9-6, 9-5, 9-4, 9-3, 9-2.
9-2. And so the 9-1 that you mentioned earlier goes with that composite, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, may I ask the witness to step down?
Sure.
Now, Mr. Reeves, I'm going to show you what's 9-1. That was the one that was shown with the 7-3 photo, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's look at that. Hold it up for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I'm going to show now 9-2. You see 9-2 there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you see a hand coming in that direction?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's put that behind your fingers there.
Yes, sir.
Let's look at now 9-3. You see 9-3?
Yes, sir.
Can you point out to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury a hand?
Yes, sir, it's right here.
Okay, let's go to 9-4. Can you show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the hand there in 9-4?
It's all the way across, right up against my face, looks like.
It's a progression in the composite, correct?
Yes, sir.
And let's go now to 9-5.
Yes, sir.
Can you look and show, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the hand there at 9-5?
Yes, sir, that's all the way across again up against my face.
And then finally, let's go now to 9-6 and show the hand to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yes, sir, it's still in contact right there, all the way across, right over the top of my wife's head.
And that was the popcorn incident, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's go to 7-3. Stay right there, please. 7-3, what you testified in cross-examination, was the first attack, correct?
I think so, yes, sir.
Would you show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury Mr. Oulson coming over his seat in the first attack?
I do.
You may take your seat. No further questions.
May this witness be released? Or are you done with them?
Yes, yes.
You can have a seat, Mr. Reeves. Counsel approach. Mr. Escobar,
The defense will rest.
thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, obviously you heard the defense rest. That means that the lawyers and myself have some work to do that does not involve you. It's going to take us probably a couple hours, so I'm going to let you go home for today. And the plan for tomorrow will be closing arguments first thing when you come in at 8:30. After that, after all the closings, I instruct you, and then it'll be time for your deliberations. So as I mentioned earlier in the week, I don't know how long things will last tomorrow, so please make arrangements to possibly stay late. You know, I have no way of knowing how long your deliberations may go, but that's the order of business for tomorrow, okay? Any questions? All right, please remember my instructions during the recess. No independent research, no discussing the facts amongst yourselves or with anyone else. Don't watch the news, and we'll see you back in here, well, jury pool room at 8, a little after 8, whatever time you get there for them, but we're going to start at about 8:30. Thank you.
Court is in recess for the jury.
Or after. We'll be in recess till then.